Hello and welcome back to Mystery Shots. Clive Nicoli and Elsa Cast are genetic engineering scientists who work for a company called Newstead. The company conducts a variety of experiments that focus on splicing DNA from various animals in order to create new life forms that can be used for medicinal purposes. After many failed attempts, Clive and Elsa finally manage to succeed in their mission. The two are astounded by their creations and decide to name them Fred and Ginger. The two organisms were created with the intention of producing medicinal proteins for livestock. After seeing the incredible results and potential opportunities, Clive and Elsa believe they will be able to use the same splicing technique they use for Fred on humans. The two scientists believe that if properly applied, the technique could be a miracle cure for a variety of currently incurable diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Their idea was rejected by their employers, Joan Court and William Barlow, who strictly prohibited the young scientists from conducting human experiments because it could result in negative publicity for the company. Clive and Elsa decide to conduct their experiments in secret. After a few failed attempts, the two successfully create a human/animal splice. They were thrilled about their scientific breakthrough. Elsa decides to take the genetic material to the delivery room T to begin the development of their creation. Clive is opposed to the idea, but Elsa is eager to continue the experiment because it could lead to a cure for many human diseases. She persuades Clive not to worry because they are going to destroy the creature before it reaches full term, so no one will ever know. Clive turns on the machine and the conception sequence begins. Later, Clive is talking to one of his colleagues. The young man inquires about the project that he and Elsa are engaged in, but Clive deflects the inquiry. Meanwhile, Elsa inspects the incubator. When the creature's heartbeat suddenly stops, she instantly becomes worried, but is quickly relieved as the heartbeat appears again. After finishing work, Elsa and Clive are lounging in their apartment thinking about moving to a larger apartment. The conversation continues, and the two discuss having children, which makes Elsa visibly nervous. An alarm on Clive's phone interrupts their conversation. They rush to the lab immediately. Despite being months away from birth, the fetus appears to be ready to emerge. Clive's, as well as Elsa's attempts to repair the machine and prevent the creature from being born fail, and Elsa injures her hand in the process. Clive manages to trap the creature under a plastic container before it can escape and cause further damage. He goes to help Elsa, who is convulsing and losing consciousness as a result of a wound infected by the creature's poison. Clive injects her with medication, and she returns to normal. Elsa and Clive return to their apartment. The birth deeply shakes both Clive and Elsa, with Clive expressing that they should destroy their creation. Elsa tells Clive that there is still a lot to do, but Clive is determined to destroy the creature. Soon after, they both go to the lab to kill the creature, only to discover creature appears to be a dead body in the incubator. Upon further examination, Elsa notices that, while there is a lot of dead tissue in the incubator, the creature's entire body is missing. Almost instantly, she hears small, fast footsteps approaching her. She is greeted by a small chicken-like creature that leaves an imprint on her. Elsa and Clive manage to knock the creature out and start studying it, only to discover that it can expel venom, despite the fact that it lacked a predatory gene in its DNA. As the creature's life progresses, it becomes clear that the creature is rapidly aging due to its defective DNA. Later that night, Clive meets with Barlow, who informs him that if they are unable to sell the medicinal proteins from Ginger and Fred, Newstead will be in serious trouble, and Clive and Elsa will be held responsible. After a month, the creature has grown to be quite large. Based on how it behaves, it can be concluded that it has the intelligence of a human toddler. To Clive's dismay, Elsa develops a bond with the creature, treating it more like a child than a science experiment. She even lets the creature out of its enclosure and removes the cover from its stinger. After the creature spells Nerd out of toys, Elsa decided to name the creature Dren after seeing the company's name on her shirt, which is Nerd spelled backwards. Elsa and Clive have a disagreement over Elsa's treatment of Dren. Their experiment appears to be in danger of being discovered because their lab is about to be renovated, which opens the door for someone to see their forbidden experiment. That's when Gavin, Clive's lab brother and fellow college student, sneaks into the room to listen in on their conversation. But he unexpectedly meets Dren. Terrified, he flees the scene quickly. Clive and Elsa decide to sneak Dren out in a card box and hide her in a storage area away from prying eyes in order to keep Dren a secret. To their surprise, Dren has a high fever, which worries Elsa. Dren was quickly placed in a cold water bath by Elsa and Clive, in order to alleviate her fever. When Clive holds Dren underwater, it is revealed that the creature developed dubious lungs. Elsa looks after Dren that night, giving it a Barbie doll that she had to hide from her mother when she was a child. As time passed, Dren has grown significantly larger and more human-like in appearance. Elsa and Clive enjoy a round and end up having sexual relations on the couch. Dren can be seen spying on them from the next room. The next day, Clive and Elsa present their original hybrid creations Fred and Ginger to the public. Unfortunately, the presentation goes horribly wrong, as the two creatures turn extremely violent and fight each other to death. After examining the situation, Clive and Elsa found out that Ginger transformed into a male. The reason for her actions remained unknown. Elsa and Clive decide to relocate Dren to an old farmhouse owned by Elsa's mother. When they arrive at the farm, Dren dashes off to get some food. Elsa and Clive travel to the farmhouse after completing Dren's room in the barn. Upon opening the door, they met by a filthy room with a bed, a single chair and a bucket, indicating that Elsa grew up in an abusive environment. Meanwhile, Dren is unhappy with her life on the farm. With her creators gone from work all the time, and only a cat to keep her company, Dren becomes rebellious, which Clive takes well, in contrast to Elsa, who is deeply disturbed by it. In order to keep Dren at bay, Elsa decides to stay at home and keep Dren company. Elsa lavishes her in makeup and jewelry to make Dren happy, which Elsa's mother strictly forbid when Elsa was a little girl. Elsa searches the makeup table and discovers numerous drawings of Clive but none of her. Elsa's makes Dren nervous, so she runs away to her cat, which Elsa takes away and tells Dren that she cannot have everything she desires, which is a natural part of growing up. When Clive gets home, he notices Dren is sad and tries to cheer her up by playing music and dancing with her. Clive had forbidden feelings for Dren while dancing and soon realizes that Elsa used parts of her DNA. While they were developing Dren, when he confronts Elsa, the two clash, and Clive flees. After Clive has left, Elsa decides to return the cat she took from Dren, but Dren kills it, prompting Elsa to slap Dren across the face. Dren pounced at Elsa so she could escape by stealing the barn keys, but she is knocked out and strapped to an operating table. Elsa begins to remove Dren's jewelry and clothes, as well as her stinger, due to her violent behavior. When Clive shows up, Elsa takes the stinger back to the lab to find the proteins and synthesize them for her work. Clive goes to the farm the next day to find Elsa, but is met by Dren, who tries to seduce him. Clive initially refuses, but eventually succumbs to Dren's advances and the two have sex. Dren regenerates her previously amputated limb. Elsa walks in on them and runs away in disgust. Clive rushes to her side, and the two of them get into their car and drive to their old apartment, where they disagree about Elsa's feelings about Dren. It is revealed that Elsa wanted to create a child rather than have a traditional child because she desperately wanted control over the said child, a need that most likely stems from her abusive childhood. When they had finished arguing, they returned to the farmhouse. Dren was found dead in her bed. Dren's body is buried, and her clothes are burned. While moving Dren's belongings, Elsa discovers Dren's self-portrait drawings. Gavin and Barlow arrive there, having discovered Elsa and Clive's secret. Before they can start talking, Dren appears, now looking more masculine, indicating that Dren, like Ginger, has transformed into the opposite gender. Dren becomes aggressive, murdering Barlow and Gavin and attacking Clive. Elsa manages to flee into the woods, but she doesn't get very far because Dren quickly catches up with her. Dren pounces on Elsa, presses her to the ground, and attempts to have sexual relations with her, but is stopped by Clive, who smashes Dren with the help of a branch from behind. Clive is attacked by Dren, which causes Elsa to smash a rock on Dren's head, killing the creature once and for all. After all of this, Elsa remains a Newstead employee and has been granted permission to continue her research into proteins found in Dren's body. She is visibly pregnant, implying that she is carrying Dren's child. Like and comment your thoughts about this mystery shot. And don't forget to subscribe Mystery Shots for more such content.